All right. So, well, I've said it once and I've said it before. People will lie and distort in order to gain advantage. And that's what a lot of people seem to be doing. I certainly could be wrong on this issue, but there's been a real, it looks like kind of a rewriting of history with regards to the uh, Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman situation, tragic situation. Um, and the new evidence that is out there that Rachel Gentile was not who she said she is should be kind of a bombshell thing, but the mainstream media will not cover it, and the internet they'll bury it. But there's a person by the name of Diamond Eugene, a real person, and or it seems to be anyway. And if it's untrue, then the mainstream media should quickly try to debunk it. And I haven't seen that. And maybe there is something out there where the mainstream media has debunked that whole thing, the whole Rachel Gentile and the Diamond. I forget her full name, but I think there's Diamond Eugene, and I'll get into that later. But there's a whole thing there that the person that Trayvon Martin was talking to on the phone uh, was not Rachel Gentile, and she falsified certain things. So that being said, I want to say that I myself, and I think a lot of other people, struggle with procrastination. And I think the number one reason people struggle with procrastination is they want things to be perfect. And perfection is the enemy of progress. So do a little bit at a time, and just just remember that, as I said before, these I'm looking at this on my Twitter. These two people who are they look like just punks and SJW punks, and it was kind of shocking. So certainly the way people dress and act is, some of it's kind of silly, and not only silly, in some ways a little bit on the disturbing side. So we have an oil crisis or a gas crisis. We have an inflation crisis in this country, and how that began, how that started, and it seems like, again, a lot of Americans don't want to talk about certain things. They don't want to talk about how, you know, what causes inflation, and or what are the main causes of inflation. It's we're so polarized. There was a good conversation, and I did tweet out. Let me go here, my notifications. Oh man, I almost want to look at that person's, but I did tweet out a good conversation about critical race theory. It was an actual debate on critical race theory. And let me go here on my profiles, and it was anti versus pro, and it was really a really good good solid debate, and it's something that we don't see on the mainstream anymore. We used to see things like that before the internet. We used to see debate. Now, the mainstream media was always biased, but it was never this biased. And for whatever reason, it seems to have gotten a lot worse. And now they say they're afraid to have people debate because their YouTube channel will get clicks and they'll be supporting that type of thing. And which is, in my opinion, kind of stupid. If your argument is good, your or the argument that you support, and your journalism is good, you'll crush the people, the person that you're talking about. And the mainstream media and the establishment thinks that information is dangerous. That information will cause a violent insurrection like what happened on January 6th, which some say is an insurrection, some say not, but they now believe that it is dangerous. So I'm going to turn off my Discord real quick. That it is dangerous to discuss things because of the way people may act and or may respond to the information that is given to them. So really and truly, social media and the mainstream media are largely responsible, in my opinion, and this is just me, largely responsible for turning the information age into the age of censorship and punishment. They do not want the commons to have access to the populace. As Brian Stelter said, freedom of reach does not mean freedom of speech. Really and truly, when you believe that, you really don't believe in freedom of speech. And you really don't believe in the information age. You really believe in the age of censorship. It's kind of, that's the one thing that does get me angry, how the elites act and how they behave and what they think. And all of the stuff you can't talk about because it offends certain groups or it offends certain people's sensibilities. And I do prefer to live in a place where I'm allowed to speak openly and honestly. And if I'm wrong, I'll change my opinion. I have no problem with changing my outlook. I don't have an ego tied to my beliefs. You know, it's there. What I think is there, and it's there for, for good reason. I mean, I've kind of thought it out. As limited as my education is, as limited even as my my intellect or my IQ is, I've thought things out, and I believe that my mind can be changed. But it's better to be changed with thoughts and ideas than through punishment, and that's what the elites are doing right now. They're doing it through the threat of punishment, and not good. Not good. We're not the intellectual age anymore. We've become a very polarized age, and we don't really discuss things. As I said before, there was a really good debate and really intellectual debate. I tweeted it out, and my Facebook has been really restricted. I got to be honest and say the reason my Facebook page was as restricted as it is just due to the fact that I was angry, and I was wrong for the anger that I had, because I had an urge to voice my opinion on things that are not necessarily talked about. And I was right. I still believe that my issue is right, but my approach was wrong. And again, there are certain ideas that do not bring out harmony between the human species, and it's just unfortunate. You can't get anywhere with envy and lust and gluttony and all that other stuff, which, by the way, I struggle with myself. Uh, and I struggle with getting things done. Being diabetic, it is difficult. I mean, anything that I eat, much of what I eat can have a very negative impact on me. And uh, the medical, the medical establishment seems to be not being as honest about the benefits of fasting and eating less. Um, breakfast is not the most important. I mean, I still believe, like, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day, and people should strive to eat far less. We don't need that much food, but we have, we do have industries. We have the agricultural industry, and we have the breakfast and lunch and the dinner industries that they want us to eat as much because they make a profit off of us. And of course, once you become addicted to that food, to the good stuff, it is hard to get off it. I haven't had sugar for a long time, but even then, like, if I do eat sugar, it's not with intent. But there's so much things that are processed with sugar, and our government has had a role in that, and I think it's shortened a lot of people's lives because of the foods that we eat, and the fact that many of us are more overweight than we've ever been. That's why I believe that uh, this pandemic, this disease, caused larger morbidity because of morbid obesity, and we need to eat less. We need to be healthier. I mean, it's best. Look, we don't need to do anything. People primarily want to. I think people primarily want to eat less. They want to be healthy. Uh, the question is how to do it. You know, eat less, move more. Those are the best things to do. The question is, like, how do you build the willpower to do that? And that's the big question I have. What is needed? Because there have been times when I wanted sugar, like a tasty treat, that nothing anybody could do could stop me from getting that, from going down to the local liquor store and getting my fix of candy. Now, I haven't done that in a while, but but not too long ago, uh, I was unable to fight the urges, and it's still one day at a time. You know, where I'm not eating sugar now, but still my diabetes has gotten worse progressively, and it takes less to really raise my blood sugar, and it's late at night where I get the strongest urge to eat, and I really don't want to do that. That's the last thing that I personally want to do. And like I said, transparency and merit. Right now, Joe and I, we're trying to build a website of you decide what is what has merit and what doesn't. And And you can only have merit unless you have transparency. And today, the internet used to be, you could look at anything and decide for yourself. Today, the internet treats us like children. And they certainly allow one group, the left, to get away with things that the right could never get away with. I mean, I remember during the Republican convention, the left, the crazy leftists, BLM and Antifa, were threatening the members as they walked out of there. And people say they're just an idea, but these are groups that can hurt you. And are we doing enough to protect people, protect their freedoms of speech, their freedoms of thought? And it seems like we're not necessarily doing that. And that's unfortunate. Whether it be on the street or on the internet, there should be a place where we can speak openly and honestly about subjects, even if it's offensive. So that's just my belief. And I, like everybody else, I mean, I, like a lot of people, struggle, particularly with procrastination. And I got to remind myself that perfection is the enemy of progress. And for me, I believe you just got to lose your ego, and like, you may not do it perfectly, but just do it. And whatever comes, comes. Do the right thing. Do what you know to be right. And let the chips fall where they may. This has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below, please.